I'd been talking to some friends for a long time about starting up some type of ensemble-based company in film. I studied at a place called Steppenwolf Theatre Company in America, and they're an ensemble-based theatre company, and they have like 30 actors, they have a whole lot of writers, they have directors and stuff, and they all create work together in Chicago. So the fellowship was a way of actually putting it all together kind of quickly and having to write things down and write down exactly what the goals of the ensemble were, yeah, just formalising it, I guess, so that it became something real. Financially, it's been a really great help because it's meant that for the last 10 months or whatever it's been since I received it, I've been able to focus purely on that. I've also been able to work out that, okay, these are the things that I can go overseas and I can stay at, in Chicago at Steppenwolf, and I can go to New York and I can meet these people and have these meetings because I know I have the money, So straight away it brought a lot of certainty to what I was trying to do, rather than just kind of hoping that I might be able to achieve these things. So I always saw my goal as getting a whole group of people together that had similar interests, that I thought were really fantastic people working in their field, that wanted to also make films in Australia, that their interests weren't in going overseas to make films. That was also really important because my passion is to tell stories here in Australia. So I wanted to get other people involved that had that sort of passion. Yeah, well, we've got two directors. We've got Alkinos Silamitos and Amy Alcorton-Wilson. He's a young filmmaker. He just had a film called Varsity come out at the Melbourne Film Festival. We've got an overseas writer, plus 3 local writers here. And we've got Alkinos is also one of the producers. I'm a producer, and we're talking to a couple of other producers at the moment about coming on board. And we're also getting some people from the philanthropic community that I guess their job is to find money for projects that they feel are socially relevant. So we're getting some people like that to come on board to also, I guess, help us make films in the sort of areas that they're interested in. In 10 years' time, I'd love to have produced 10 features. Ideally, I'd like to be at a point where we can make a feature a year at least. We've got a really talented group of people. So rather than spending 2, 3, 4, 5 years getting one project up, I'd like to say that in the next 10 years we produced, 10 films. In the next 15 years we produced 15 films, and the company just grows. I guess for anyone applying for the application this year, I would say that my application was as detailed as I could make it within the guidelines of what the application was. I guess if people are reading the application, they have to get a really fast, concise and exciting view of what the project is. So I guess you have to keep in mind that people will be reading it and they need to read it and go, wow, this is a fantastic idea. This maybe hasn't been done before. There wasn't funding, there isn't funding available for setting up the type of ensemble company that I want to set up. And I guess that was a big part of me getting the fellowship, is that there's not existing levels of funding out there for something like this. And I think people need to be aware of that when they're writing, can I get money from this from other sources? And if you can, then it's probably the fellowship probably will go to somebody else that has a kind of an original new idea.